Here we go. Right, here we go. How good is the hybrid with the 2025 4Runner compared to the tried and true 4-liter V6? I know how this is gonna go. A lot of you guys know how this is gonna go, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys are gonna say this is a mismatch, but I don't think so. Run what you brung. I borrowed these SUVs from Karl Malone Toyota here in Draper, Utah. They are both available for sale. They have like maybe 1 or 2 other 4Runners available like this, not hybrid. And they have a bunch of 21s to 24 TRD off-roads here. Let's go ahead and drive this 2025 first, and then we'll drive the 2024 right afterwards. This is really smooth. I'm actually impressed. Just going through the lot, you don't really feel any vibrations. It's like super smooth. You gotta keep in mind, this is not a crossover. This is a true SUV. Toyota has not gone away from the body on frame design. That's impressive too. And see, you know, I have to come into this with an open mind, because see, I was never a fan of the 4-liter. I was never a fan. And it was only because they just had no power. I remember I literally had a customer back in 2007, 2008, excuse me. We had a V8 4.7 liter 4Runner, and then we had just the regular V6. And he drove them back to back, and he didn't even make it out of the parking lot before he turned around and says, nope, we're good, I'm getting the V8. And it's simply because Toyota just takes a long time to update their engines. But this right here, this has great power. If I need to get over, let's see. 80. Yeah, I mean, it's quick. And that's the biggest difference between 4Runner with the 4-cylinder turbo versus that V6. And, you know, I'm about 4,300 feet above sea level here in Utah. This 4-cylinder is going to make up for the horsepower loss that you get at these higher elevations versus that 4-liter V6. You're going to see it here in a second. This is super smooth. No noise from the tires. There's a little bit of wind noise, and it's always windy here in Utah. But it's not that bad. I think that for what you're getting in this package, yes, it is expensive. I know a lot of people complain about the price of these new autos. Everyone has really crept up the prices, but Toyota's smart. Toyota's not building these things fast enough. So there's not as many 4Runners being built, which in my opinion means I think the value is going to be higher. You could probably buy one of these for a couple years and turn around and sell it for not much less than what you paid for. But yeah, overall, steering is great. It's actually surprisingly stiff. A little bit of body roll from the tires, but it's not bad. Wow. I like how big the steering wheel is. The seats are nice and supportive. I think Toyota's always done a pretty good job with the seats. I don't think I've ever sat in a Toyota and like, man, these seats aren't comfortable. You just don't do that. Let's drive the previous gen 4Runner next. Come on, get going. I'm just kidding. It's not that bad. Actually, oh, there it is. You really have to give it the juice. I'm not gonna lie. I was at like 40% there. With that turbo, it just, again, it makes up for that power that you lose at this higher elevation. So again, that is the biggest advantage of electric, obviously, and of course turbos. But again, the 4-cylinder just came out, what, 2-3 years ago in the Tacoma. So we have to see, is it going to be a reliable Toyota powertrain? That is the question. Now, when you get inside this older 4Runner, I just feel like you have more options. Now, this could be a higher trim level, but the first thing I'm going to point out, I hate the lighter color roofs. Like, this thing, it doesn't look dirty, but if you do live in a dusty area, or if you do work with your hands, and your hands are typically dirty, when you go to put this down, or when you go to, I don't know, put your hand up here, you're just going to have dirt all on this light color roof, and it never looks good over time. This looks dingy. This looks dingy too, I'll be honest. But, and that 25 had the black roof, and that wasn't a premium. I'm not this is a premium now. I don't know much about the older 4Runners because I didn't sell 4Runners after 2010. But overall, let's see. Put my seat back. Okay, so this does have a power seat. It does have auto dimming. That other 25 didn't have any of that. Now, if you need to get over, wow, 80. It's just slow. I mean, like, and then you have a 5-speed transmission. You do have lower gearing out back, 373 versus 358. But yeah, I just feel as though where this suffers is at the higher elevation. Now, it's not that bad. If they would have put a 6-speed in this thing, maybe, I think it would have really helped. I don't know why Toyota, well, I do know why Toyota does it. Back in the day, they just didn't change things quickly because they like the idea of having that reliability and dependability. I have friends who have these 4Runners, 300,000 miles in these things, and like they just keep going. And they are slow. I mean, you know, they're slow. 270 horsepower. I'm sure you can probably make easily another 100 out of this engine before you start breaking stuff. But that's not what Toyota's after. They're after reliability. Now we'll have to wait and see what they're after. Let's jump back over to that 2025. Do you guys see where we are for the RPMs? Because of the extra horsepower and torque that this thing has, you don't need that lower gearing out back, right? That's the biggest advantage of having the turbocharged engine, having the 8-speed transmission. You have more power in every gear and then you have more gears. And therefore you can change the gearing out back, which should help you with fuel economy. Now it says that I have a message here, and that's the only message is the fuel is kind of low. But yeah, overall, there is some wind noise, and that's pretty much it. Now this is the smaller screen here. No dual climate control. So this is a more basic 4Runner, but the appearance of it on the exterior is really nice. At 65 miles an hour, we're running about 1600 RPMs, let's call it that. Let's see what that 4 liter's doing. I'm about halfway down, and I'm not joking when I say this thing is just slow. It really is. And because Toyota waited so long to update it, they didn't have a chance to really add more horsepower and torque, add a 6 or even an 8-speed to this setup here, give it higher gearing, that way you can get better fuel economy. So that's where this one's going to suffer. And it's reliable, but that's about all you're going to get out of this engine. I do know people who supercharge these too, but you guys see the RPMs? Let's get back to about 65. About 65, we're just at 2,000 RPMs. I want to say with that 4-cylinder, you're going to be, well, you guys just saw it, but you're going to be a little bit lower. And that's why I say, like, that's why these 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder turbocharged engines make so much sense, because they make so much power, and the power comes on so much sooner. Therefore, you don't need to compensate for the gearing as much. Oh, let me get over here. That's a bad place to pull someone over there. But yeah, all in all, I mean, I'm impressed. I mean, I'm actually a little shocked by this fuel economy. Now, we'll say the only advantage is this thing has 29,000 miles on it. The engine's broken in, so it's going to get better fuel economy just because of that too. Here are the numbers on the door. This is the 2025. The rear gross axle rating is going to be 3,820 pounds. Gross vehicle rating is going to be 6,505 pounds. All-in payload is going to be 895 minus 5, so 890 pounds total. This is going to be for the 2024. That rear gross axle rating is going to be 3,450 pounds. Gross vehicle rating is going to be 6,300 pounds. All-in payload is going to be 880 pounds minus 8, so was it 872? We've made it to the midpoint, exit 3, so you'll see that here in a second for the 4-liter. You guys want to guess where we are for fuel economy? You're going to be impressed, I'm just telling you now. 19.6. So not only do you have more power in every gear, you're going to be able to get that better fuel economy, and the stop-start function is going to work the absolute best on something like this, simply because you have the hybrid battery, and it's a little bit bigger battery obviously, and so the AC is going to stay cooler longer. So yeah, you do have the advantage of getting a lot better fuel economy in the city for sure. We're at the midpoint. Unfortunately, we did catch the light, and yeah, this is getting better fuel economy. But it's okay though, you know, I can admit when I'm wrong. Now we do have to do the performance run, so that's going to hurt the fuel economy, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, this is pretty dang good. Pretty good. I cannot sit here and lie to you guys. I'm actually a little shocked because I remember driving these back in the day and they just, I mean, I was shocked to see 18 on a drive like that. But yeah, so far so good. Let's go ahead and jump back over to the 2025. I want you guys to see, hope you can see that, 7,209 is the feet for the density altitude. About 65 decibels inside this interior. It's a little loud. I would say 60 to 62 is what I normally see in a good range. And we're at like 4,400 feet for the altitude. So as I said earlier in this video, that's the biggest issue with my test is you're going to get a little bit worse 0 to 60s, but yeah, the turbo is going to make up for it a little bit more so versus a naturally aspirated engine. Let's check out how loud that V6 is. This is louder, so that's 66, 67. And we're in the exact same spot as the 2025 when I did this. Yeah, 66, 67. And again, the road noise. Oh, look at that. I'm in cruise control. Let me turn off the cruise control. Again, just to go up that small grade, it had the downshift. And that's the beauty of going from a 5 to 6 speed and then going from a 6 speed to an 8 speed with more power in every gear. That's the nice thing is you don't have to gear hunt so much. So you're gonna see less gear shifts. So you're gonna keep that transmission happier, which means you're gonna have lower temperatures on that transmission too. Again, I like this V6. And even if it beats the 4-cylinder and fuel economy, again, if we were to do a city drive, this would look totally different. Just saying. But yeah, overall, I'm impressed. I wanted to show you guys the battery level too. We're not even at a full charge on the battery, but you can hear the turbo sounds, and it feels like it's always in the turbo. So when you give it some acceleration, like that turbo is already spooling. But even at like 77 miles an hour, let's see, we're still under 2,000 RPM. Someone just jumped in front of me going slow. So, but yeah, this is pretty good. I would venture to say that if you've had the 4-liter for a long time, you might find this to be, I would say, an improvement. Now, obviously, longevity, dependability, these are all conversations you're going to have for long term. But if you're scared, go get you a dog. All right, we're going about 70 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and get up to 80. All right, there. You guys see where we are for the RPMs? We're just over 2,000. So again, like I said, having the 5-speed, imagine if they had a 6-speed with 358 rear like that other 4Runner. Granted, it has an 8-speed, but the 6-speed would make a difference with this one for sure. But yeah, right at 80 miles an hour, we're probably like 2,300 RPMs. So this 2.4-liter inline 4 turbocharged engine does have electric assistance. So it's going to have 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. All that power goes through an 8-speed transmission, 358 rear. Let's see how it accelerates. Are you guys ready? Here we go.
30. 60.
Here's that 4-liter V6, good for 270 horsepower, 278 pound-feet of torque, and they still have that tried and true 5-speed transmission, 373 rear. Let's see how it accelerates. Here we go.
30. 60.
We just pulled back in with the 2025. We are at 19.1 MPG. We drove about 11.2 miles. That's really good for that short trip. Really good. Just pulled back in with the 2024 and 18.9 MPG, 11.5 miles driven. So someone is here to test drive the 2025, so I have to end off the video with this white one here. I'm not sure if this one's available though, but here's what I'll tell you guys. I was wrong. The 6-cylinder can get better fuel economy. On the highway, if you're on the highway cruising at 60, 65 miles an hour, it's very possible on a short trip that this one can get better fuel economy. Now, as soon as I got off the interstate, I was at 19.8 MPG with this one. With the 2025, I think I was at like 19.3. So had I gone through that light with the 2024, I probably would have gotten better fuel economy with that one. However, I caught every single light with the hybrid. I did not catch every light. I think I might have caught 2 lights more with the hybrid system. And that might have helped a little bit with the V6. But I still think that the 4-cylinder turbo, if you're not someone that drives with turbocharged engines, sometimes it's kind of fun to like hear the turbo and like feel that power. So you could get worse fuel economy. However, if you do a lot of city driving, I'm willing to bet you when that battery's charged up, you probably will get better fuel economy with the 2025. But I had fun today. I don't have to look at the performance numbers. I know the 4-cylinder won that. I don't have to look. I know it won. And you guys will all see that here. But I hope you guys liked the video. In the future, I'll probably wait to do it for the 2026 model year. I'll do a 4-cylinder non-hybrid versus the hybrid to see which one gets better fuel economy. That might have been a better test against this one, but like I said, most of these 4Runners are spoken for, so I can't drive them. So yeah, be sure to check out Karl Malone's inventory. Let them know you saw the video. See you guys soon.